What if the reason you're not where you want to be has nothing to do with talent, luck, or opportunity? What if you're simply running out of the one thing you keep assuming you'll always have? Time. Think about the last 7 days of your life. How many hours disappeared into your phone without you even noticing? How many times did you tell yourself, "I'll do it tomorrow"? How many times did you sit down to do something important, got distracted, and suddenly an hour was gone? And then, somehow, you still expected your life to move forward. That's the part nobody wants to admit. You can have a big dream, a great idea, and all the potential in the world, but if your days keep disappearing, your future disappears with them. You say you want financial freedom. You say you want a better career. You say you want to become healthier, smarter, stronger, more confident. But wanting something doesn't make it happen. Your life is being built quietly while you're living it, 1 hour at a time, one decision at a time, one ordinary Tuesday after another. And the scary part is that ordinary days don't feel important while you're living them. Monday feels like just Monday. Next week feels far away. Next year feels almost imaginary, until one day you look back and realize an entire year passed and you're still saying the same sentence, "I'll start tomorrow." That sentence has destroyed more potential than failure ever could, because failure at least teaches you something. Waiting teaches you nothing. There was once a young man who had enormous plans for his life. He wanted to build something of his own, take care of his family, and become someone he could be proud of. He wasn't lazy in the way people imagine laziness. He worked when he had to. He showed up when someone was watching. He could even talk for hours about the future he wanted. His problem was simpler. He always believed there would be more time. When an opportunity came, he said he wasn't ready. When he needed to learn something, he said he'd start next month. When he felt tired, he told himself he'd make up for it tomorrow. And tomorrow always sounded reasonable, until tomorrow became next week became next year, and eventually he realized something terrifying. He hadn't run out of dreams, he had run out of excuses that still sounded convincing. Because time doesn't disappear dramatically, it disappears quietly. A few minutes here, an hour there, another night wasted, another morning postponed. And while you're waiting for your life to begin, your life is already happening. So before we talk about success, money, or achievement, we need to talk about the asset underneath all of them, the one asset every person receives in equal measure, and once it's spent, there is no refund. That asset is time.
Here's something strange about time. You can waste money and earn it again. You can lose a job and find another one. You can fail at a business and build another. You can make a mistake and learn from it. But when an hour is gone, there is no version of you powerful enough to buy that hour back. And yet most people protect their money more carefully than they protect their time. They'll spend 10 minutes comparing prices before buying something, but they'll spend 3 hours scrolling without asking where those hours went. They'll think carefully before spending $50, but they'll give away hundreds of hours without thinking twice. That's because time doesn't feel expensive while you're spending it, until you look back. Imagine 2 people wake up tomorrow with exactly the same 24 hours, same amount of time, same sunrise, same number of hours on the clock. One spends the first hour scrolling. The other spends the first hour learning something valuable. One spends the afternoon complaining about how unfair life is. The other spends the afternoon improving a skill. One keeps waiting for motivation. The other starts before motivation arrives. At the end of one day, the difference is almost invisible. That's why people underestimate it. But repeat that difference for a year, and suddenly you're looking at 2 completely different lives. This is how success usually works, not through one giant decision, through thousands of tiny decisions that nobody notices. The book, The Psychology of Money, talks about how behavior often matters more than raw intelligence when it comes to financial outcomes. And time works the same way. Knowing what to do isn't enough. Your relationship with time determines whether you actually do it. You don't need another motivational video telling you to wake up at 5 a.m. You need to understand where your hours are actually going. Because if you don't control your time, something else will. Your phone will. Other people's priorities will. Notifications will. Entertainment will. And sometimes your own fear will. Fear can waste enormous amounts of time because it convinces you to wait. Wait until you're ready. Wait until you're confident. Wait until conditions are perfect. Wait until somebody approves. But perfect conditions almost never arrive. And while you're waiting for the perfect moment, someone else is using an imperfect moment to get started. That's why the question isn't, do I have enough time? You probably don't. Nobody does. The better question is, am I using the time I already have? Because you don't need 10 extra hours to change your direction. You might need one focused hour. 1 hour every day. 1 hour spent learning. 1 hour building. 1 hour reading. 1 hour practicing. 1 hour becoming slightly better than yesterday. 1 hour looks impressive, but give that hour enough days and it becomes a skill. Give that skill enough years and it can become a career. Give that career enough time and it can change an entire life. That's the power people miss. Time doesn't just pass, time compounds.
Now here's where this gets personal. Because maybe you already know you're wasting time. You don't need another person to tell you. You feel it. You know which habit steals your mornings. You know which app eats your evenings. You know which task you've been postponing for weeks. You know the thing you've been saying you'll start soon. And maybe you've even tried to change. You download the productivity app, you make the schedule, you promise yourself that Monday will be different, and Monday comes. For 3 days, you're locked in. Then life happens. You get tired. You get distracted. You miss one day, and suddenly the old pattern returns. So what's the real problem? Maybe it's not that you don't know how to manage time. Maybe you haven't decided what your time is worth. Because when something matters enough, you protect it. Think about the person you love most. If they called you and said they needed you, you'd probably find time. If an important opportunity appeared, you'd find time. If someone offered you $1 million for a specific hour of your day, you'd protect that hour like your life depended on it. So the issue isn't always time. Sometimes it's priority. And that changes the question completely. Instead of asking, how can I find more time? Ask, what deserves my time? Because not everything deserves equal access to your life. Not every notification deserves your attention. Not every argument deserves your energy. Not every invitation deserves a yes. Not every distraction deserves another hour. And not every goal deserves to remain a goal. Some goals need to become appointments. If you say you want to write, put the hour on the calendar. If you want to learn a skill, protect the time. If you want to build something, give it a consistent place in your week, because a dream without time attached to it is usually just a wish. This is where discipline becomes misunderstood. Discipline isn't about becoming some machine who never gets tired. It's about making certain decisions in advance so your emotions don't have to make them every day. You don't need to feel motivated to use 1 hour well. You need to decide that the hour matters. And here's the uncomfortable part. You may have to disappoint people to protect your future. You may have to say no. You may have to leave the conversation, put the phone down, skip the unnecessary distraction, go home instead of staying out, study when everyone else is relaxing, work on something nobody understands yet, not because you're better than anyone, because you finally understand the cost of your time. And once you understand that cost, something changes. You stop asking where the day went. You start deciding where the day will go. That difference sounds small, but it can completely change the direction of a life. Because your future isn't waiting somewhere in the distance. It's being built inside the hours you're spending right now.
Picture yourself 5 years from today. Don't imagine the perfect version of your life. Imagine two realistic versions. In the first one, nothing dramatically goes wrong. You simply continue exactly as you are. You keep postponing things, you keep losing hours to distractions, you keep telling yourself you'll start when life becomes easier, you keep waiting for motivation, you keep saying, "I have plenty of time." 5 years pass. Now imagine the second version. You don't become perfect. You don't suddenly become unbelievably disciplined. You simply start respecting your hours. One focused hour a day, one skill developed, one book finished, one difficult task completed, one unnecessary distraction removed, one promise to yourself kept. Then another and another. After 5 years, you don't have the same life. Not because of one magical breakthrough, because small actions had enough time to compound. This is why your ordinary days matter so much. Your future isn't created on the days when you're inspired. It's created on the days when you're tired and still decide that your time matters. It's created when nobody is watching, when there's no applause, when the work feels boring, when the results aren't visible yet. That's where most people quit. They expect progress to feel exciting. It usually doesn't. Sometimes progress looks like reading 10 pages, practicing for 30 minutes, saving a little money, sending one application, writing one page, making one difficult phone call, going to bed instead of scrolling until 2 a.m. None of these moments look like success, but stack enough of them together and eventually people call the result success. They don't see the hours behind it. They see the finished product. They see the business, the career, the confidence, the healthier life, the person who seems disciplined. They don't see the thousands of ordinary choices that built that person. That's why comparing your beginning to somebody else's result is so dangerous. You're seeing their visible outcome. You're ignoring the invisible hours. And maybe that's exactly what you need to understand today. You don't need to become extraordinary tomorrow. You need to stop wasting ordinary days, because ordinary days are all you ever get. There is no special day where life suddenly becomes your real life. This is it. This morning, this afternoon, tonight, this hour. And the way you use these ordinary moments eventually becomes your extraordinary story. So if there's something you've been waiting to start, don't ask whether you can change your entire life this week. That's too big. Ask a smaller question. What can I do with the next 60 minutes? Because 60 minutes is small enough to use and powerful enough to change your direction. One day, you're going to look back at the life you're living right now. You'll remember the things you worried about, the things you postponed, the hours you thought didn't matter. And you'll realize something you couldn't see while you were living through it. Your life was being built during those moments. Not someday, not after you became successful, not after you had more money, not after you finally became confident. Right now. That's why time is more than a productivity problem. It's a life problem. Because when you waste time, you're not just losing minutes, you're giving away pieces of your life, and nobody gets those pieces back. So maybe the goal isn't to squeeze every possible second out of your day. Maybe the goal is to stop giving your best hours to things you won't remember 5 years from now. Protect your attention, protect your energy, protect your priorities, and protect the small amount of time you have to become the person you keep saying you want to become. You don't have to change everything tonight. Choose one thing, one skill, one goal, one habit. 1 hour. Then protect it. Tomorrow, do it again. Because the person you become isn't created by what you intend to do. You're created by what you repeatedly do with your time. And remember the young man from the beginning, the one who kept saying, "I'll start tomorrow"? The tragedy wasn't that he didn't have dreams. He did. The tragedy was that he thought tomorrow was guaranteed. It isn't. None of us know how many ordinary mornings we have left. That's not meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up. Because you still have today. You still have this hour. You still have the chance to take one step. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting until you're motivated. Stop waiting until you're ready. Start with what you have. Start where you are. Start with 1 hour and let that hour prove something to you. You are not powerless over your future. Your time is limited, but what you do with it is still your choice. And maybe the greatest form of success isn't having more time than everyone else. Maybe it's reaching the end of a day and knowing you actually lived it on purpose. Because money can be earned again. Opportunities can sometimes return. Mistakes can be corrected. But yesterday is gone. And every second you're listening to this sentence is becoming part of your past. So when this video ends, don't just feel motivated. Do something. Close the app, put the phone down, choose the one thing you've been postponing, and give it the next hour. Because your future isn't coming from somewhere else. It's being built 1 minute at a time.